Hello everyone, I am repotting, actually potting some propagations. If you've been on here before, you've seen me do this. Now I just washed all my hair out and you can see all the gray. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to go with growing my grays out. I've done that before out of kind of a prove it to myself kind of thing. And so I'm thinking about doing it again. I don't know. It's really hard though to grow your grays out because you have societal standards and things that tell you that, oh, you look older if you're, it's like, who cares if I look older? What does that matter? So you guys get to see my gray hair and I'm okay with it. I'm trying to also decide if I want to dye it. So what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna show you guys this is actually, and I'm gonna sneeze here in just a second. This is actually a rhaphidophora, excuse me, a rhaphidophora tetrasperma, which is, you don't see a ton of them, but this is one that I cut from the original one that I have back on the shelf there. And so if you can see in the glass or the cup, plastic cup, there's lots of roots there. So that's great. And I love seeing that because that makes me happy, especially when it's something with such great variegation like that. You don't see these a ton, so it's kind of nice to be able to grow these, and they've been growing great in just water. I probably had them in there, they rooted actually really quick. I probably had them in there for a month, if that. I recently had an order and I was very, very happy to be able to ship this order. It was a looking glass begonia. And the weird thing about the shipping of plants, I don't like selling plants. I don't know why that is. I think you put a lot of love into the propagations and things like that. Look at that. But when I know that I can feel that, someone is going to take care of it, that's a good feeling to me. And so I'm very happy when I know someone's trying to take care of it. So that's kind of my thought process in propagations. It's hard for me to sell them, but I do, not hard because they won't sell, but just hard because, they become kind of your babies a little bit. And so look at those roots. Isn't that crazy? They almost look, this is a different kind of root. This is not what I'm used to. This is not, wow, look at that. That's amazing. It's so pretty. I love that. Ah, and then it's got the variegation on the stem. You can see the rhaphidophora, tetrasperma variegated. And you can see the variegation as well on the stem. But look how pretty that is. And then look at those roots. So you've got absolutely gorgeous looking rhaphidophora tetrasperma. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up. It's probably a little bit bigger than I need actually. You know what, I'll do this size here. So anyways, kind of going back to selling plants, it's kind of a hard thing for me to do, but I love to, when somebody cares about the plant a lot. And, most people, when they're buying plants, they care. But it's just hard when you put sometimes a lot of work into a plant or things like that. Sometimes it is difficult to part ways with that, but at the same time, there's such a good feeling of knowing that someone's going to take care of it and love it just the way that you do, and that makes me happy. And so but yeah, so anyways, I had to mention that because I'm so happy that I was able to send a looking glass begonia that someone had purchased, and I really feel like they're going to take good care of it. I just get that good feeling, and so that makes me happy. So I am now planting this rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This was just a little pot here, and as you can see, that beautiful. This was really easy to propagate, and then I'm going to set this aside, but I do need to water it fairly quickly here. So I'm gonna just set it to the side for right now. Usually I water immediately, and I probably should do that. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna show you guys here. This is an orchid, this is a Jolt orchid here, and this one was, I don't even remember the story on this. I think I pulled it out of a terrarium, but it's been in there forever. And it also has, you can see here, they're really easy. They're fairly easy, but it's got some roots. You see that there? It really likes it in the water. I might go ahead and plant it. That's kind of a big pot for it, but it's almost like it needs a skinny little pot, or not quite as wide, but I may just go ahead and put it in there because it's actually kind of a bigger Jolt orchid than you really see with that, but it's really happy. It's doing really great. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a little bit of a less chunky soil for it, more with perlite and peat moss. I probably should be wearing, honestly, I should be wearing a mask. I've lost my voice over the last couple of days, and this is probably not the best thing I should be doing right now, but jewel orchids, they are kind of weird. They're easy, but they can be finicky sometimes. They do like a lot of humidity. I keep mine sometimes in my shower bathroom that I have, and it seems to really like it there. This one I've kind of had out with all the rest of my plants in the background that you can see. Just potting it up because it's been in there for quite some time. Now, could you keep plants in, could you keep them forever in water? Probably could, yeah. There's hydroponics. Absolutely could if you're giving it some kind of nutrients. But, you know, water's not going to have the nutrients, so you need soil if you're not going to do that. But there's lots of ways to be able to take care. So you can see here the jewel orchid. I have a bunch of, I forgot the excuse me, I forgot the variety of this jewel orchid. But the cool thing about jewel orchids, that on the leaves, they get very sparkly. It won't pick it up, but they'll get very sparkly, and they get these cute little flowers that kind of remind me of like begonia type flowers, if you've seen like those little pink angel wing begonias. And so there's that potted up, and I'm happy about that because I know this one has been waiting to get potted up. I wanted to also update you guys on, I did another live with a video with the Rio. I made a bunch of cuttings, and I wanted to kind of update you on that. I got a bunch of cuttings that I put in probably last week, I think. And I'm starting to get some little roots. I don't know if you guys can see that at all, but there's a little tiny root growing right there. Probably can see it with my dirty fingers there and dirt. But yeah, it looks like they're starting to take some roots. And definitely on this one, you can see, guys. And I'll go and put that back in. My dog's kind of going crazy. So yeah, that's just kind of a little update. I did several different methods. I put one in soil, one in sphagnum moss, and also this one in water. You know, it's hard to tell obviously with sphagnum moss, and water's the easiest obviously to be able to tell, but I don't take them out or anything like that to look at them. I just look at them through the cup. But it seems like the sphagnum moss is the one that's kind of struggling a little bit, but it may be because it needs a little bit more moisture. And then the soil, it looks okay. I don't think that there's too much of an issue there. But yeah, this one seems to be, based on what I can tell, doing the best, but it's hard to say for sure on that. Because like I said, I can see the roots on here. So, but as far as just looking at the leaves, which don't always tell the story, they do seem to be doing the best. So that's an update on that. Let's see what else I've got here. So you guys could probably see, I could show you guys another one that I potted recently. This is a maculata that was a cutting. This is also very easy to take care of and to propagate. Overall, some people though really struggle with taking care of these and they lose them. But the cool thing is, if you ever have a plant and it's growing, if you're kind of unsure whether or not, you might want to end up cutting a stem, and you just put it in water, let it callus over for like a few hours, and then put the stem in water. Make sure you have a couple of nodes, and then that can kind of give you that, not security, but if something does happen to the original plant, that's what I actually, one of my first 2 maculatas, I end up they live. And so I decided when I got my next maculata, which probably was at a big box store, I don't normally buy from big box stores, but I did find one and I was like, I gotta get it because I love the maculata. And I do have a video that shows the differences between the maculata and the angel wing begonia, and they are different, even though they look very similar. So with this, what I did is actually, I have a ton downstairs in my plant room in a terrarium. They grow great in terrariums, like just fish tanks, basically, aka fish tanks. They love it in that, and they love getting their light. They love bright and direct light. But I cut some of the stems so that I would have kind of that safeguard, that insurance that I would have another stem, and it is growing great. These are some new leaves right there from a propagation. And usually the angel wing and the maculata, they will root pretty easily. What else can I show you guys? I'm trying to think here. Well, I'm gonna probably, I think I'll be back on later, but I just wanted to do that potting real quick. So, because I knew I needed to get it done, I wanted to show you guys the tetrasperma. I'm gonna go water this, and if you hear it's doing really well, and it was doing really well in the water. water, and it was just time to plant it. It had some absolutely beautiful, beautiful looking roots, and so I'm excited to see what these will do. Whenever you are propagating and you're putting them into, taking your propagation and putting them into whatever medium that you're going to put them into, you really need to watch them for the next 2-3 weeks. Make sure you're giving them high humidity. And also what I would say to do is, because they come from a water glass, if that's what you're doing it, I would get a Ziploc bag and I would put it just up over it, keep it open, but just over it to keep humidity going. And also, one of the other things that can happen, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a cup and I'll put this down, I'll put water in the bottom and I'll put the cup into the pot, into the cup, and that actually, I believe, at least this works for me, starts to help promote root growth that's already happening because of the humidity. It's almost like it grows closer. It's trying to grow closer to the water. And so that's what I do with a lot of my other plants. And it's like I'll get the roots growing crazy down into the cup that I have it sitting into. So yeah, so I'm excited to see what this will do. And this was another safeguard because these are kind of expensive, but they're very easy to propagate. So I think everybody tries to make things really expensive when it's variegated at first, but it's not hard to propagate, to be real honest. And I mean, you could do it really easily. I know probably people won't want me to say that, but yeah, that looks super pretty. With the variegation, it's happy. And then I've got my jewel orchid in there as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for now. You guys, I'll be back on later at some point when I, maybe today when I repot some things, but these are just some things that I needed to repot right now. And I was excited to show you guys my 2 repots here. So you guys have a good day. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now.